Hi folks, Mr. Long here. We've got another screencast. Today's is on the mean value theorem, and what the mean value theorem is about slope. It's about average slope, comparing the slope of a secant, the average rate of change, with the slope of a tangent, the instantaneous rate of change, and some relationships between the two. And to begin with, let's talk about this whole idea of open and closed intervals and what they mean and things like that. So, because to understand these theorems, we have to understand what some of these things mean. Okay, so to begin, let's talk about continuity. So let's talk about continuity on a graph. So here's, we're going to go from, make a dot here at x equals a, make another dot at x equals b. It's filled in. So this means that x equals a comma b. The square brackets indicate that the endpoints are included. That's why it's a filled in circle. This is also known as a closed interval. Okay, so it's called a closed interval. Why is it closed? Because the circles are filled in. Okay, so all it means is that it's continuous everywhere in that interval, right? So there's no point discontinuities. There's no vertical asymptotes. There's nothing. So you don't have to lift up your pencil ever going from A to B. And because it's, and that means it's continuous all the way from A and including A to B. So that's called a closed interval. So when we're talking about intervals today, we're going to be talking about intervals that are continuous on a closed interval, which means that the values are included. Now, so that's a closed interval. Well, what's an open interval? An open interval is when the endpoints have open circles. Okay, so you can have a closed circle. In our case, what we're going to do is for the y value for these relationships today, the interval is going to be closed. In other words, it's continuous. You've got every single y value. But for the y prime values, it's an open interval. And so that again means, why is it called open? Because the endpoints are not included in the interval. So what that means is you can get any y value along the interval, including the endpoints, but you can't take derivatives at the endpoints. Okay, that's what that means.